Ghana is opening her African Cup of Nations campaign today with a game against Benin in Group F. The current crop of players is hoping to end Ghana's 37-year trophy drought since the country last won it in 1982. A win for the Stars today will brighten their chances of progressing to the next stage of the competition. Well, ahead of tonight's game, my colleague Henry Kwesi explores the Black Stars, the fans, and general expectations. Here is his report read to you.
The sound of a Ghanaian anthem will blast through the Ismailia Stadium as the Black Stars lock horns with the Squirrels of Benin at 8 p.m. tonight. The same stadium was where the Black Stars were handed defeat against Zimbabwe in a 2006 edition that sent the Black Stars packing.
Now, finally, it's happened. Zimbabwe go into the lead. The ball gets its final direction there from Ahmed.
Ghana has won the Africa Cup of Nations trophy on 4 occasions. Those victories, though, were achieved long ago. All the current players were not even born by then. The last triumph came in 1982 when the current coach, Kwesi Appiah, was part of the squad.
In Libya, the final saw Ghana on their way to one of the 4 victories that they have recorded in this tournament history.
However, Ghana's domination has since declined. Ghana's captain, Andre Ayew, yesterday warned Benin in a pre-match conference that his team will come out all guns blazing. Some Ghanaians are optimistic that Ghana will beat Benin.
I'm expecting a great game. You see, it's been 37 years, I think, we won a trophy, so we did nothing more but the trophy. I mean, coming of this AFCON, other trophy we're expecting. I'm expecting the boys to have a good game and play all out. And play for the nation as well. Okay.
Oh, as for the Stars, it's 2-0. We are going to win 2-0. I expect one from Jordan and then Achu as well.
This time around, we are much more determined. And since we've gone 37 years, we think this is the right time for us to win. If there is any other time, this is the time.
The Squirrels of Benin will be making their 4th appearance at the tournament and is yet to win a match in the competition. Some Beninois in Ghana are confident their team will carry the day. Martin Francois Dosa is the Benin High Commissioner to Ghana.
Benin and Ghana will enter in the dance, and we are here. Everybody, you are Ghanaian and Beninins, and I know that Benin will win Ghana. I'm sure.
In all, the Black Stars have made 21 AFCON appearances, winning 4 titles: 1963, 1965, 1978 and 1982, being runners-up 5 times in 1968, 1970, 1992, 2010 and 2015. They placed 3rd once in 2008 and also placed 4th 4 times in 1996, 2012, 2013 and 2017, and are 3 times quarterfinalists in 1994, 2000 and 2002. Can the Black Stars end the long droughts by lifting the trophy? Time will tell. Henry Kwesi report for JoyNews.
The performance of the Black Stars at this AFCON is a big deal considering the current state of football in Ghana. I've been joined by veteran sports journalist and coach Nana Jermaine and our very own George Addo Jr. They're here with me in the studio, and we'll be having a comprehensive discussion on the game, Ghana's chances, and everything related. Benedict Owusu will be joining us via Skype from Ismailia, Egypt. Welcome, gentlemen.
It's great to be on the show.
Thank you. Let me start with you, Nana. I have him almost every day.
Aren't you the lucky one? Of course, he's the lucky one.
Let me start with you. The day is finally here.
Yeah.
We've seen the guys in that video. They tell us they are poised for the game. They tell us they're ready for the game. What are your expectations?
Well, I mean, the video doesn't really mean that much to me, to be honest, because I've seen that type of video time and time again, be it World Cup, AFCON, AFCON. They always do a Jama video. It's insignificant. I will say that this time, because of the presser, where the coach, Kwesi Appiah, said that this was the first time that there's been unification and peace of mind within the camp for the very first time since he was the first coach, he first appointed as coach and now secondly appointed again. I would like to go along with that and believe him. And I say this advisably because they've been lying to us for years. For over 10 years they've been lying to us, telling us there's peace in camp, there's unity in camp, cohesion in camp, and then before the tournament ends everything breaks out and you know that there's divisions and different sides and different factions, etc., etc. I'm not really concerned about whether there's peace and unity in the camp. Not now. I'm more concerned with the fact that perhaps our coach may stick with a 4-4-2 formation and how that may make the Ghana Black Stars dysfunctional.
Well, I'll come back to ask you about his technical prowess, because a lot of people have criticized him on that. People who have knowledge about tactics and all that. But let me come to you, George. We've been at this for a very long time. We've been talking about how to revive the passion, how to get people moving along with the Black Stars. The day is finally here. We've picked word from camp that everything is good, like Nana Juman said. Everybody is okay. It's cool and calm. But there's a big challenge which has to do with how well our team members as individuals have performed this season or the past season at club levels. And there's that concern that we may not actually have it together when it comes to performance and ability to do it when it matters on the field.
Yeah, it's a good concern, and it probably reflects the mood in the country right now ahead of the first game, that most Ghanaians are a bit cautious. I think that's the fact because of the many heartbreaks that they've had following the Black Stars, and also because we really haven't seen the Black Stars playing in the friendly. The two friendlies were watched by journalists who were close to the team managers, and they tell us that it's looking good. So far, most Ghanaians don't have an idea of what the boys are doing up there, so it's fine. And the issue about club form and national team form, it's always good to have players who've got fantastic club form or who are on form when it comes to club, and when they come to the national team they can translate it. It's not always been the case, but for us we can see certain trends. For instance, we know our strikers have not been on awesome form scoring goals, and it's almost showing because in the last two friendlies we didn't score a goal. They make us understand that it's just friendlies and they had a lot of chances on goal. We are hoping that during the competition it will be, but obviously we know that in the Black Stars, when the strikers are not able to score goals, we go back to the midfielders. That's why what Dana is saying is going to be very important in how we set out the team to ensure that we can get the maximum benefits. For example, midfielders who can score to be freed up, or look at a 4-2-3-1 formation or a 4-1, 4-1 formation. We'll talk about that later. But crucially, some players don't play well at club, but when they come to the national team, they do well. But sometimes there are trends, and if you're not being too good at club, you might not just be up for it when it comes to the competition. So we're all yet to see where they are when they start the first game.
Now, do you agree with that assertion that the club performance will tell eventually on how you perform when you come to the national stage? Well,
I take it a step further. Club performance determines whether or not I pick you. And, I've had this long-standing 20-year beef with the technical team and the Ghana Football Association because I keep telling them about having a criteria. And they keep trying to show me that, look, we are all Ghanaians and we do things different than how it is done universally. I keep reminding them that football is a universal language and we all speak it. So there's no difference between us and those from Uzbekistan. Now, when you don't have a criteria, you just pick anybody in accordance with what you may think, your own preconceived ideas.
Let me come in with this. Are you comfortable with the player selection, the player call-up?
Well, I would have been happy with the two that have been called and then rejected locally. I think they should have been there. I think they should have been given an opportunity because they're not mercenaries wanting 100,000 or 80,000 appearance fee. They just want to put on the jersey, be able to sing the national anthem and give their heart out for Ghana. But what we have is some mercenaries. There are mercenaries out there. And, you know, they've not been picked in accordance with the criteria. We're now going to mix and match. We're going to use a dysfunctional 4-4-2 system, which will really demand that individual skill and brilliance come out at the end of the day to put Ghana in the lead and to maintain Ghana so that we can win the match. And I'm not cool with that. I'm not cool with that at all.
You're quite hard on the technical bit. I will come there, but we've been joined by Benedict Owusu. He's live from Ismailia. Benedict, we spoke to you yesterday. You told us there was a lot of excitement in the camp. There's unity. You made a guess at the starting lineup. Do we know for sure which team members are starting when Ghana meets Benin tonight?
Well, it's too early here to talk about starting lineup because it's just 12:33. The team must, have their meeting where Coach Kwesi Appiah will tell them which players are starting, and after which we'll know. But of course, after watching their training sessions, I want to believe that yesterday the starting lineup that I guessed is what we're going to see, where we'll have Richard Ofoyi in post, and then Lumo Agbenyana will be on left. We have Andy Abdom on the right side of the attack. That's the right back, sorry. And then the central defensive pair of Kasim Nuhu and John Boy. And then we'll have Mubarak Wakaso play as the holding midfielder. Thomas Partey will be in the midfield as well. And then we have Thomas Ejapon, who is likely to play at the left side of the flanks, and then we'll have Christian Achu will be on the right side of the flanks with Andre Ayew, the captain of the team, playing behind his brother Jordan Ayew. So I'm looking at, the training sessions that I've been seeing in the past 3 days and what they've been practicing. That's why I'm guessing this. But for us to get an official starting lineup, that will be after the team meeting with Coach Kwesi Appiah.
Benedict, prior to bringing you into this conversation, I've been speaking to Nana Agyemang and George. Nana has been quite hard on the technical bit. He wants to find out what the formation is. Do you know what formation Coach Kwesi Appiah is going to play tonight?
Nana is saying, Nana is noted for, that's always hitting hard at the technical team. Well, in terms of the formation, if you look at everything that they've done at training, there was a problem with goal scoring. So I want to believe that Coach Kwesi Appiah will empower the attacker, whoever is going to start up front, and I want to believe that that's going to be Jordan Ayew. That's why we have the likes of Thomas Partey all around, Thomas Ejapon, Christian Achu. So they definitely will feed Jordan Ayew with more balls. And I'm looking at maybe a 4-2-3-1 formation, a 4-2-3-1 formation where we'll have a back four of the players that I've mentioned, and then you play Mubarak Wakaso with Thomas Partey in midfield, and then we have Thomas Ejapon, Andre Ayew, and then Christian Achu with Jordan Ayew as the main striker. So I'm looking at a 4-2-3 formation, a 4-2-3-1 formation this evening in that game against. But as the game goes on, definitely it will change because if they are making things difficult not to score, you should expect players like Samuel Owusu, and entertaining Samuel Owusu, Kuda Asamoah Gyan. The bench is good, so if he should put this starting lineup that I have guessed and this formation that I have guessed, and it's not working, we should expect them to tweak it and definitely get us going.
Benedict, I'll come back to you shortly, Nana. It's a 4-2-3-1, not the 4-4-2 that you don't want to see. So are you comfortable?
That's what Benedict says.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if Benedict's guess is right, are you comfortable with this formation?
No, it's about the personnel. You've now got to talk about the personnel. The back four is okay. Okay, Wakaso's slow, so you can have him as a defensive midfielder. So who joins him? Because if it's Partey joining him, then okay, that's not too bad. Atletico Madrid or wherever he plays, he's a defensive midfielder. Now, my concern is there's no one from the midfield who do a box-to-box move anymore, because you're effectively playing 6 defenders. That's what you're doing. Instead of 4 defenders, you're playing 6 defenders. Not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. If that's the strategy, that's the strategy. It's better than a 4-4-2. It gives us a lot more options. Now, you're demanding a lot from Agyepong. and probably where will Jordan play?
So Jordan is on top as a striker.
Yeah, no.
And
where's
Didier
his brother? He's behind him.
Right
He's behind him.
So
okay.
That whole
so you're looking at Achu. I think this he's left-footed, isn't he?
Yes, Japan's left-footed. So Achu is going to be cutting in from the right.
So what we've got is an orthodox left-footed left wing, and then we've got an unorthodox left wing. Both of the wingers are left-footed. Yeah. Both of the wingers are left-footed. That can be a plus, it can be a minus. Then you've also got another left-footed player playing behind
Jordan.
Behind Jordan. I won't say it can work. I say you can give it a try. It will certainly be tweaked. It will certainly be tweaked.
I think that I was just also looking at you spoke about what's going to happen in front of that defense is fine, but sometimes you feel like Partey has got a lot more to offer up front. I mean, as the man who is linking up the play, rather than the guy who is sitting in and trying to, shield the defense, because we know that our strikers are not really scoring goals.
We know. But Partey didn't score that many goals either, did he?
Anyway, that's the point.
He didn't score that
so you need Kudus Asamoah in this, and then you have to sacrifice.
Well, I mean, Kudus Asamoah hasn't been mentioned, but you know, look, there's so much. There's so much to work with there. There's so much to work with, and that's why I say, well, you know, you've got to always have a criteria, because you look at that. Benedict says the bench is good. Okay, that's what Benedict says.
Do you agree as coach?
The entire team is average. Benedict, the entire team is average. Let's face it. Who is the outstanding player there? Who? There's no outstanding player.
I think this year we'd look at playing as a collective unit rather than look at for players.
Well, we have to.
Yeah, we have to. I don't think we have star names.
All right, gentlemen.
Star players who can carry it.
Well, I'm sure there are many at home who are saying, you're being too harsh. We do have star players. Just that they didn't have star performances this season.
Yeah, so they're not star players.
Asamoah Gyan has been a star player.
No, but you don't have
it has been a star player. Do you know what the past tense means? Because that's the past tense you're using. Look, I can remember when we had... No, I remember when we had Lai Kingston, Stephen Napier, Sully, and who else did we have?
Oh, we have...
That was a fantastic... Michael Essien. That was a fantastic midfield quartet. Since that time, 2006, we've never breached that boundary again. We've never had a brilliant midfield as we had with those four. Never.
So what are you looking forward to technically, George? Sorry, I'll come to you shortly. Technically, what are you looking at? I'm sure you've been following Coach Kwesi Appiah very closely, because you...
Yeah, he's a hobby.
Yeah. So if you were to give him an advice today, give him a call, what would that advice be, especially on technicalities?
Well, I think, he's picked what he's picked without a selection criteria. He's experimented once with a formation similar to this, only once. He's used to a 4-4-2. I have to say to him, well, look, I'm not comfortable with your 4-4-2, but go with your heart, go with your gut. You're a 4-4-2 man. You've got to inspire them to give their best 4-4-2. And if you can tinker while the game is going on, because that is absolutely crucial, and that's one of the things I knock him with, his ability to place himself within the game and make the necessary adjustments in accordance with what is going on at the time. He's slow at doing that. I would ask him to be absolutely vigilant on that, because, you see, you could end up with a 4-4-2 with both Ayus striking. You could end up with that type of scenario. I wouldn't want to see that, but that could be the scenario you end up with if Benedict Owusu is correct with this. It could just metamorph into a 4-4-2 and that's it. I would like to see him have an input in the game as it's going on. He must adjust and readjust and adjust and readjust and adjust and readjust again. Because what do we need? We need goals. And what we know about that 11 is when you put them all together, I doubt if they have 20 goals all season. You see? So that's a major problem.
George?
I just think the good thing is if this team can work as a collective unit, which has been the hallmark of teams that have won the competition in the last five editions. So I agree, we don't have a man we can say this guy must produce the magic. We don't have a guy to go to and say he produces the magic and we all rally. They must come together collectively and play as a unit. That would be a trump card. If we can play as a unit, then we can go, because you look at the teams passed from Zambia to Nigeria in 2013, Ivory Coast had a few star names, yes, they play as a unit. So I understand. And I think the critical thing about it is as well paying attention to details, and I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
Right in the game, it's really like you're right in the ring. It's about, and you really have to watch out and do the substitutions when you have to. You have to be very careful with it because wherever we have great tacticians thinking out there, and I'm sure Kwesi Appiah should be up to the task, or his supporting team must help him.
Yeah, Tanko Mohammed, Coach Tanko Mohammed.
Yeah, he must help him. Yeah.
He's got to help him very, very well.
We haven't seen a lot of goals in the games we've played so far. Only Mali, I think, convincingly won a game with 4 goals. I mean, beautiful.
That was a letter of intent.
Beautiful goals. And what do you expect? I'm going to ask you to. You call it prediction, but I'm just going to ask you to just tell me your expectations of goals. How many goals are you expecting from Ghana's side in tonight's game?
I think it's going to be a tight game. Yeah. Ghana may win it with a goal difference. I think 2-1, 1-0. It's going to be tight because Benin have a lot of players who ply their trade in League 2. That's in France. So they are technically good. We don't know too much about the team. That's also another struggle. Like Egypt had against Zimbabwe, like Tunisia had against Namibia, like Morocco also had issues. Morocco had, Tunisia had some issues, and I think that Nigeria also had against Burundi. So I think a 1-goal difference, I think 1-0, 2-1 is how I see it.
You know what I think is significant about this game is their coach. I can't remember his name, but he's a very, very good tactician. He's
Michel Dossé.
Yeah, he's with Guinea before. Yeah, he's a very good tactician. Yeah. And that could be the dominant factor in this game. What happens during the process of the game and how the adjustments and readjustments are made during the course of the game. And of course the starting formation too. Because Benin won't be there to just roll over and play dead. You know, they probably know within themselves the possibility of winning the African Cup of Nations
but they've been given a prophecy.
That's a prophecy already.
They've been given a prophecy. I know you don't want to get into that, but that has a way, especially in this part of the world, of boosting confidence and morale.
It will do that for the boys. It will do that for the Beninois, definitely. But I think that one of the key factors will be the 2 coaches and how they apply themselves within the game. It's going to be very, very, very important. You look at the Malians, you look at the way they performed. The coach didn't need to apply himself within that game because they'd done all their work already. So they went out there and just did the business. For us, it's a bit different. We're battling with a lot of different issues. We've now had to come out to tell Ghanaians that everything's okay, there's no problem, blah, 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 you know, a day before the match. Now we've got to focus solely on the match. We've had two friendlies where we were unable to score a goal. Everybody played. Everybody who is everybody played. We didn't shine. I watched the Namibians. I mean, a couple of them don't even have a club. You know, they're clubless, and they beat us. So, you know, okay, yes, it was a friendly, blah, 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 but friendlies have a way of translating themselves into the real deal when things come up as well. Just like as, you know, performance or pedigree or form and your domestic level has a way of finding itself within the national team framework. So we have to be careful, we have to be cautiously optimistic. The mindset must be one that we're going for the ultimate. It's no good going to a semi-final and then coming back and saying, well, we've been to 7 semi-finals, blah, 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 and giving it all of that. No, thank you. The other critical thing, let me just add this in, is 70% of this team needs to go when they come back, whether they win the cup or not. It's time to go. We need new people. We need clear out. We need a clear out.
All right, I don't know, do we still have Benedict on? Just to quickly, briefly ask him, Benedict, what's the mood? Yesterday we spoke about fans coming to the stadium. Any excitement, any buzz around Ghana's match?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, we are expecting some fans from Cairo to, you know, join the already small group that we are here to support the team. And it will interest you to know that the volunteers here are all supporting Ghana. Surprisingly, all the volunteers that I've met, those at the stadium, those at the team hotel, all of them are supporting Ghana, and all of them want Ghana to win this year's tournament. It's amazing. Asking me if I can get them a Ghana flag.
Oh dear.
So amazing. But we should expect see some fans at the stadium.
All right, Benedict, thank you so much for joining the program. We'll touch base with you later. Take care. That's Benedict joining us from Egypt, Ismailia to be specific, and we'll be bringing you more updates ahead of Ghana's game tonight. But let me just take your brief closing remarks. What does this mean for you, looking at the context of football in Ghana as it is now?
Well, it will be good if they can win their cup, but it's too early to talk about winning the cup. I hope that we have learned from all our mistakes in the last semi-finals and finals, and that we're going to pay attention to detail, and we're going to play as a group and go in there knowing that we can do it as a team and not with any player.
Nana, same question to you.
I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt. I've never had the opportunity of going to the airport in 37 years and being a part of the people that welcome them home with a trophy in their hands. I'd love to do that now because I don't know how many more AFCONs I've got left. You see, so that's it for me. If they can do that, that will work wonders for me.
How do you think this will influence or help our football as it is now, the current state of football?
Well, I don't think it has no bearing whatsoever. Has no bearing. We're still in a state of normalization. I call it the
confused state of normalization.
Well, it's abnormal state of normalization. So we're still in that stage. We're still in that quagmire. I don't think we've addressed half as much as we should have addressed, and there's so many issues still floating around. You know, God save the king.
God save the king. We win it.
All right, but there's live commentary tonight. Let me just chip that in before I forget. George Addo Jr. and the Joy Sports team will be bringing us live commentary on Joy 99.7 FM. Build-up is at 7:30.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
And you can meet the team at the Nestle Square Star Bites.
Okay.
We'll have Legends of the Black Stars join us to do it. It's difficult to say Legends of the Black Stars. So we want the Africa
all right.
But former players.
But you still run commentary on all the games today?
Yes, all the games. Beginning with Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau.
Sure, Joy 99.7 FM. It's been a real honor hosting you, Nana Jiman. He's a veteran journalist and a coach, and our very own George Addo Jr. Benedict joined us via Skype from Ismailia, Egypt. This is News Desk with me, Dennis Abubeidulansa. The conversation continues on our Facebook page. You can go there, drop a comment to your expectations of today's game. But coming up shortly in business, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana is asking oil marketing companies cited for under-delivery to put in place mechanisms to compensate consumers. Details shortly.